Coca-Cola. I've been trying to fix my computer because there are so many videos that I need to like play, but the cam link, I think it's the cable. I think Naionaola cable, so it's not really working. So I have to like wait for it to get fixed. So now I'm just gonna do like a live, because what I wanted was to like show you the kind of things that I'm talking about on the screen. But I'll wait for my cable to be fixed, or maybe to get a new cable, and then Babu Pay, you got your voter's card on Friday. That's very good. That's very good. So as we're waiting for people, can we please share this live? Because in Coca-Cola, I was hoping I could open the phone lines. We'll see how it goes. But it's just like a few things that I need to tackle, you know. So please share the live. Share the live, 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 share the live. Kasama network na ipena. Let me just bring this down a little bit because it's going to, yeah, it's better. At Kasama na ipena network. Move that away from the thingy. Post the extra does, but it understand. Zio inkitwe bachira pupuka fe mundeke chendera mumwera kwendela mwela. So can we at least share the live, please, so that we get going. Ine and 99 others won't vote for him. Naikava. It's a pity that my computer is not working at the moment, but there's a lot of videos that I wanted to play, but I've just obviously resorted to using the phone now because my cam link is not working, unfortunately. Cynthia Lawrence, it's been a while. Were you off on Facebook? Good to see you. Thank you. Good to see you. So guys, let's share the live. Mwakwana kwa bali 384. I won't start talking until at least one got 1K. So that then we get into the nitty-gritties, Twambio Kulanda, and so on and so forth. Wachira Tino kwenda mumiotoka because of Chingola. Oh. So kwa chafe kula nyamuka na my helicopters. A gift in the So let's keep on sharing live. Let's keep on sharing this live, please. I've never seen a plane to start from. I've never seen a plane to start from gear 5. Yeah, I'm in gear 5. It seems like this live broadcast is for PF members. If you keep on saying that, this is why you're finding yourselves in problems. You know, if only you could listen. You want people that can praise you. You don't want people that can tell you the truth. You pay people to praise you. You know, you got to listen to other voices, the voices that are telling you, apana, 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 apana. Can you stop? Yeah, subscribe to watch. This platform is not for you to advertise your thing. Eh? Tamunji pirawa kwa makes that advertise per platform. Eh? I've been on this platform. I've been providing checks and balances. I've been providing political analysis, economic analysis, and the UPN it's been falling on deaf ears. Okay, and again, even with what happened yesterday, You don't want to take responsibility. You still want to blame others. You still want to blame the PF. You still want to blame the Jeroboams. You still want to run a certain narrative instead of saying, hang on a minute, could it be that people are upset with us? You need to sit down. And this nonsense of starting to issue threats is not going to solve any problems. Mama, it will not solve any problem. It's just going to add more fuel to the fire. It's just the tip of the iceberg. Why am I saying so? Because you see, if you have followed me for a very, very long time, I started way back talking about issues that are affecting the Zambian people. Giving analysis, even with what has transpired in Chingola. Because you wanted people to praise you, you created a artificial economy, if I say, like an artificial economic outlook of the copper belt. Let me just say, even Zambia, you created that. You by UPN, and I hope President Hakainde Hichilema can be listening to this live, because this live is not about rhetoric. This live is me taking you back from where all these things started. It was just a time bomb. No president, no matter how much power you have, lasts forever. That's why you got 2 terms. But if you want, at the end of the day, power is with the people. The same people that gave you power are the same people that are going to claim it back. You see, when the UPND came into power, they presented themselves this government. Even in the European Parliament, I remember one Muzungu went and said, Zambia is a fresh of breath air. Zambia is back in the Champions League. Hakainde Hichilema is the most long-serving opposition turned president that this country has ever had. So he had time to learn the do's and don'ts while he was in opposition. There is absolutely no excuse that you can come up here and try to give an excuse to Hakainde Hichilema. What happened to Hakainde Hichilema is himself. It's some of the things he himself talked about when he was in opposition. For example, there's a video that is circulating of him talking about what people did to the first Republican president in 1990, and that's Kenneth David Kaunda. So, to try and cover up what happened tomorrow, to try and say, oh, this shouldn't have happened, respect the president. I saw Uyuken Dumbo trying to say, oh, respect the presidency, what, Namuyasana, and things like that. Please, let's go back in time, in memorial. Let's go back to our history. Let's go back to what he himself, President Hakainde Hichilema, used to say in opposition regarding other presidents. Okay? He called it democratic rights. If we go back in 2017, what happened in Mongo? Hakainde Hichilema is on record, said I cannot be arrested and charged for treason because I was exercising my democratic rights. The people were exercising the democratic rights. He himself said that. And he did not just say it because of the Lungu administration, whatever he has with Edgar Lungu, nobody knows. But he also referred to, he was in a stadium in 1990 and he saw the motorcade of our founding father, President Kenneth Kaunda, coming into the stadium, and people rose and insulted and threw oranges and lemons. And what we were young, but Hakainde Hichilema was there in the stadium. He himself said that. The videos are there, the records are there, of him actually saying that these people were exercising their democratic rights. So he has all these examples. He's lived through governments, presidents. So there's no excuse. Those that are making an excuse for Hakainde Hichilema, there's absolutely no excuse. What you're doing is hypocrisy. Because when Hakainde Hichilema was in opposition, when these things happened to his predecessor, Edgar Chagwalungu, he said people were just exercising their democratic rights. And he said, and I quote, hunger begets anger. These words were coming from no other than President Hakainde Hichilema himself. Like I said, it was unfortunate that I cannot play the video, but I'll try as much as to show you these kind of videos of which he himself is talking about what hunger does. So he says, and I quote, hunger begets anger. So, let's play this video so that you see President Hakainde Hichilema talking about these things. So,
the price of minimum is 220. Even the calculator cannot give you the percentage. Because the normal percentage...
Uh-oh. Did I close it? Sorry.
The price of minimum is 220. Even the calculator cannot give you the percentage. Because the normal percentage is total is 100. Isn't it? That's the normal percentage is 100. Huh? In normal arithmetic. If it was 100 and there was a 100% decrease in the price of milk, it should have been 70 kwacha. But now it is 70, more than 70, double 70 is 140. It's not even 140, it's 220. The normal percentage is 10%. That's failure. That's what we call failure. Unga is a serious issue. Hunger leads to anger. That's a fact. The PF are the ones that are stroking anger, and therefore they are motivating anger. And tomorrow they want to blame HS, they want to blame UPAD, that citizens are angry because they are angry. But don't blame us. We make pressure you on the like that. We make pressure you. So, because of your lack of listening, lack of appetite to take advice, blame yourself. But for us, we're not interested in blaming yourself. We're interested in the welfare of the people of Zambia. And that's where we are asking the PF now to put measures in place to reduce the price of game. Now, so that our people can afford. It is also not too late, number two, for the PM to declare hunger a disaster. It's not too late. It's never late. In fact, the English say better late than never. Yes. We love the people of Zambia. That's why we keep rendering advice. We don't.
I'll put the phone up, you can see.
How PF feels on the advice we render. The intention of that advice is to help the people of Zambia lead a better life. That's all.
So, that's President Hakainde Hichilema in opposition. You understand? That is him talking in opposition. He says, hunger begets anger. And don't blame HH. Because Yuba PF have failed. Yuba PF have failed to tackle the issues that the Zambian people are facing. So if the people get angry, don't blame it on us. So this is a man that was rendering advice to previous governments. Not just one government, to previous, because he was in opposition for so long. So he learned from the time of KK. He learned from the time of Frederick Chiluba. He learned from the time of Mwanawasa. He learned from the time of Rupia Banda. He learned from the time of Sata. He learned from the time of Edgar Chagwalungu. So these Imambawale folk supporter, HH, these excuses that you want to come up with, where now you want to create a narrative that it is the Jerabo that probably went out there and stoned HH. Or you want to create a narrative to say, no, it's the opposition that sponsored those people. This is not helping you, and you're not helping Akainde Ichirema. You see, the consequences of thriving on praises is that you are shielding what is already on a time bomb. You need to face the reality. You need to accept that people are angry. People are upset. That is the reality. And ask yourselves, why are they upset? You keep on like mocking people. When you. People are being load shedded 21 hours a day. They only have 3 hours and you want people to clap. But when you were in opposition, you promised the people to say, we're going to end load shedding. When they were having 8 hours of electricity, you complained and you said, this is lack of vision. Kulibe akuna malaiti ku Dubai. Akuna machani. Kulibe mvula ku chanchanyo ko. And the Zambian people said, you got the vision, so we are going to vote for you so that you sort out these problems. They vote for you, you come into government, and you make their lives worse. On top of that, you gag them, they cannot speak. So they're just piling up their anger within themselves. They can't release that anger. They cannot speak because, you know what? You created a cybersecurity bill that gags people and they cannot express themselves. Others are saying it's 23 hours a day, meaning how can people survive? And these electricity, let me tell you, they keep on saying they're exporting electricity. They're exporting electricity. The problem that we have is that the electricity is being supplied to the mines. The mines are the ones that are consuming a higher percentage of electricity. Whilst doing what? Whilst getting your copper. So this issue, look at the amount of electricity that is being exported to Namibia. Look at the amount of electricity that is being exported to outside Zambia. It is a fraction of what is being given to the mining industry. And who's benefiting from this electricity? At your expense. It is the same people that are within the mines. The Vedantas, the IRH. And what happens? You are losing out on electricity. You cannot have a barber shop. You cannot have a salon. You cannot... Panga, like for example, I'm a business as well, but the mining, on top of getting the copper, they're also enjoying the electricity. 3/4 of the power generation in Zambia is going to the mines. Let them not lie to you that they're exporting outside. No. I'm a light. Aveng ni mine uraine mine omo mulefu okusanga muno omukuba ewa pera tax holidays. That's the largest consumption of electricity in Zambia, not Namibia, not Ugoko that way export, but the mining within your country. Those are the people that are consuming 3/4 of the generated electricity. So by me pay yo, ngabami pela 3 hours. The mining industry has got 24 hours of electricity. But on top of that, tax holidays. On top of that, they're taking your coppers. One more. Yes, Spooky. Yes, what is it? What is it? I knew you would start crying whenever I start doing the live. You tired? Because if I get you out, you're just gonna mess up my life. Hello. minute. You sleeping? You sleeping? All right. Okay. Hush, hush. Hush, hush, hush. Hush, hush, hush. All right. No, I knew you wanted that. I knew it. I knew it. I'm gonna sit like this now. All right. Okay. Namba live. Alambo kunchitananika. Okay. Huh? Wait. Again. So, but no, it's because there's contracts. So we cannot come out of those contracts. Wolfie, the largest industry that is consuming power. Amalite, it is the mining industry within your country. SEC, Copper Belt Energy, Canona Energy, the recent company that we don't even know who the real owners are. It was created, I think, in 2023. All these are buying power from ZESCO to supply to the mines. Who are the shareholders of Canona? Who are the shareholders of SEC? The same SEC is the same SEC that got AMA assets from the so-called KCM. KCM that was given to Vedanta. If you have followed me very, very well, you will remember that when Vedanta was returning, I came here and I disclosed that Vedanta is broke. Hakainde Ishlema was patting himself on the back and said, you cannot solve problems in court. You have to solve problems outside court. I questioned his position because when you fail to solve problems, the last resort is the court. So you go to court, especially problems regarding national assets. But people said, no, this man is intelligent. This man knows what he's doing. But PF Mwale Diafi, you ended up creating a fracas with that guy that was Kudaku KCM. What's his name? Milingo Lungu. You ended up taking out Milingo Lungu. You also took out the DPP because you wanted Vedanta to come back. But we questioned, how is it that you're going to allow a broke investor to come into the country to invest $1 billion when Vedanta cannot afford to bring such kind of investment? Tapado for leranda iwe, fincho for aishwa iwe, tapado for leranda, lekena le bombo muntu. How long has it been since Vedanta came back, and what's the state of KCM? If you talk to the real miners themselves, they're going to tell you to say, they were better off when Milingo was there. When KCM was in liquidation and Milingo was there and it was in the control of government under the Patriotic Front, the miners themselves are going to tell you that they were benefiting something from KCM. That the KCM was working better. But Hakainde Hichilema came in, brought back a broke investor to a point where they wanted to dip in. I don't know if they actually did, because I think they did, because they got money from NAPSA, your money, to pay out the 250 million that they had in Congole. I don't know if everybody has been paid Yoshua Malairama 20% increment. Okay? So let me just do this. But this is an investor that the UPND said, we have unlocked KCM. By the pira no tubantu, tuai matuamba no kuipokati bakala tupa konomba, bali alebomba chingora patopu body belt. You remember those ways? You remember the dancing, all the shenanigans? Nomba bakala tupako, tonfa wino, KCM ilebomba, shan. 2 years down the line, what have you gotten out of Vedanta coming back and the KCM in operation? What has benefited you, Wachingola, or anybody on the copper belt? From Vedanta coming back to KCM being in operation, where now Vedanta controls about 80%, if not 81%, ownership in KCM. So, I want to lay a foundation here so that by UPND, I've always said by UPND, you don't like taking responsibility for your actions. You always want to blame others. You always want to blame people to say, awe, nyaba. For once, take responsibility for your action. Take responsibility for your actions. But you want to blame it on others, which we are used to. I move away from KCM. I go to Mopani. You brought in IRH. Oh, we have unlocked Mopani. You sold Mopani without Parliament's approval. That was illegal. And with your illegalities, people came out. You cannot sell an asset in such a manner. You cannot dispose of. It's against the Constitution. People spoke. But it fell on deaf ears because Hakainde Hichilema has absolute power. What has happened to Mopani after IRH came in? Where is the money that was promised to say this will be the investment that's going to be given? The question that I'm asking now, ask the miners on the copper belt. Ask the people on the copper belt, because those are the people that are suffering. The heart of the copper belt is copper. That's why it's called copper belt. It's not Bali belt. That's absolute nonsense. The word copper belt comes from the soul heart that copper belt is the heart and soul of this country, as copper lies on the copper belt, and that's why it was named copper belt, because of what? Umukuba. Body belt. It is copper belt for a reason. So all these things are things that reading these your cadres that are going on rampant saying, oh, shouldn't have happened. These to my celebrities that you think they've got all the monopoly of knowledge. They are failing to face the reality. And I'm here to tell you, you need to face the reality. You cannot be always sweeping the things under the rag. At the end of the day, fikambo kununka. If you have what fiance, more sweeping. If you have what fiance, at the end of the day, fikambo kununga. So these to my celebrities that are writing all these articles, it's absolute nonsense. It's absolute nonsense. Because if you really care about Hakainde Hichilema and his administration, you need to tell him the truth. What is the truth? You can see the truth. First of all, you celebrities, you don't talk about voter registration. You don't talk about how people are suffering, how the Zambian people are suffering. You don't talk about the issues that are affecting the smallest individual in the society, because munyapo. And they come to you, do not talk about these things. That's not helping. Because at the end of the day, the truth will always come out. The people are upset. And when they're upset, they want to air their views. You put cyber bill, you scare the hell out of them because you want to arrest them so that they don't speak, because you want to create this artificial economic outlook to make it look like indeed you have delivered to the Zambian people. At the end of the day, it is just a fraction of Zambians that you are controlling that are benefiting from the so-called CDF. Zambia has 20 million people. Of those 20 million people, how many have access to internet? Of those that have access to internet, how many are the so-called Facebook celebrities? If you count them, are you telling me whatever you're telling them to say, is that what is the outlook of what the people on the ground are feeling? So it's like shooting yourselves in the foot. Because really, if you let people express themselves, maybe you will hear just what they're trying to tell you. And if they scream on top of their lungs, you don't want to answer. You say, we're going to arrest you. You want to use people like Tayali. Tell me what government has Tayali helped, if not himself. He talks to help himself, to eat. That's why you find that Lerwaliuku. And because you think Tayali can influence a voter, you want to use him to create a narrative. You're only lying to yourselves, because at the end of the day, the people that are feeling the pain will one day speak like they did in Chingola. And even that, you don't want to take it as a warning. You don't want to say, hang on a minute, maybe in Jibweshe, let me go back. Maybe let me reflect on what I'm doing. You come up with these stupid slogans that really pisses the hell out of people. Those slogans like Kwenyu, what, it pisses the hell out of people. It's like you're really mocking the people that are really suffering. Kwenyu. Don't start saying Kwenyu in our house. Welcome back, babe. Yeah? People are crying on top of their lungs to say, we had a business now. You come out, you pay these celebrities, you tell them to say, go out there and say Filibuino. And the nonsense that happened was when you even gave HH man of the what award. Man of the what? For what? You're toying with people's lives. There's so many things that have happened in our country. Things like load shedding. Things like the cancer hospital not working. Just yesterday one person showed me tuma plastic umbale bapele mtu wabana kuma hospital. All these issues are issues that are affecting the smallest person in the society. And when people speaking alanda suli, work hard. Muribanangani. No tantamen. Even for where do you see us kutandam? Does this look like a person who am tantamin utma 100 kwacho to bampir? Back to muisa mukutukana. So you talk of KCM. What has it done for the people of Chingola? You talk of Mopani. What has it done for the people of Mopani? There was a very, very thorough analysis that I did about Kawompo South, Sustainary Group, and the people that were involved. When they go Javantu, you cannot mine illegal, you go and shoot them. And people are just piling up the anger. It's just piling up, just like you said in your video, Mr. President. Hunger begets anger. People have been hungry. And only a fraction of Zambians are enjoying. The ones that you control. That's what I was telling you. These people like Benajito Kayumba that you have put in the forefront, trying to do PR. Muzambia PR, kale yale kokumba. It's either you get the result or you are gone. Publicity stands with the government. You are in government and you think you can do a publicity stand. You promised a lot of things. Things that you, Mr. President, have gone back and made it even worse. You promised when we come in, we're going to remove this cybersecurity bill. What have you done? You've actually elevated it to a point where people now cannot even speak. These gadgets, you want to monitor people, what they're saying. Look, there was Adolf Hitler. There was Adolf Hitler. And time came for Adolf Hitler to go. So, you cannot continue gagging people, starving people, and think, oh, nganawapera mandate kwacha, nganawapera mashingo, I'll control them. There's a point where when you push a person too hard to the corner, they will push back. Why am I saying all these things? Hold that fire. Let me put the baby to sleep. Hold the fire nice. All right. I'm still alive. I'm just putting the baby to sleep. Eh? I was trying to see if I can get the camera to work, but I failed. I think it's the cable. I think I messed up the cable. Need a new cable. I'm live. I'm not playing any video. So don't say anything because I'm live. That's so beautiful. Take that. My wife. The wedding way. Yeah, ma, you don't listen, you. Right. It probably was. Oh, let me go. Right. So, guys, sharing in live way. Right. I'm charging the phone so Papa came to Papa not toroka. Do this. Put it to be seen. So, where was I? Please share the live. Please share the live because this is a very serious topic. But I know by UPND won't listen, but at least we'll be here to say, we told you so, we told you so. I'll give you another example of what's happening in our country. Let's talk about the farmers, for example. All right? When the UPND came into government, when the UPND came into government in 2021, basangira amataba mu butala. Okay, they inherited amataba mu butala. When they inherited amataba mu butala, what did they do? What did they do knowing that they are going to phase out FISIP and that next year they won't give the farmers farming inputs? They started exporting the maize. Which led to what? Which led to you, the people, not having enough staple food. Which led to the higher prices of mealie meal. For 2 consecutive years, you were buying bag of mealie meal, almost 500 kwacha. Okay? Now, once you're buying the bag of mealie meal, 500, you started complaining they were not listening. So they created a crisis. They themselves, not that mataba sangira mataba, bari sangira mataba, ayengi. They are even on record being proud of how much they're exporting. And we said, you don't know what's happening. That's why you have food reserve. You have to reserve a mataba. No, finish your hey, chan. And you continue to pay these people, they continue to praise you. We had a crisis. We had a drought. And amataba yadi sadura. Ubunga wasadura. Ubunga wotura. To a point where you fed your people amataba ayahonaika with aflatoxin. All these issues, it's not the opposition that created these issues. It is you, the UPND. Because you knew you had gone to IMF. You knew to say the conditions of IMF, which again we told you, can you please disclose the conditions of IMF? You could not disclose the conditions of IMF until researchers did their research and told you. We told you the conditions of IMF. You said, no, that's not it. You are politicking. You started phasing out FISIP. FISIP, Piri is on record how you are phasing out FISIP. You brought the nonsense of cash for work, which in itself is just an aspect of corruption. Because there's a lot of people that have done these jobs that have not gotten paid. So what happened after Mwashishama Tabubunga Bwadura? People could not afford in Salaya, India. Even now as I'm speaking, I believe you've not given farmers farming inputs. But listen to yourselves when you write about farmers. On one end, you, Mr. Hakainde Ichima, said you've paid the farmers. The maize that you exported, you've cleared the farmers. Here we are today. Farmers are complaining of not being paid. And even that, it's falling on deaf ears. Farmers are waiting for them to be paid. What do? There's a crisis in Chiwempala. A market is burnt. God knows who burnt the market, because the first thing that you should have done is done an investigation and find out who were the culprits that burnt the market. How did the fire start? No investigation has been done. No reason has been given. All we heard was the president is going there. The president cares for you. What do? On one end, the farmers are waiting for their money. You go to Chiwempala and say, we are going to give you 10 million kwacha. I'll just read what the UPND posted 2 hours ago when I'm talking about the farmers. The farmers are waiting to be paid. Farming season is already here. You want them to grow more without paying them. Then you go to Mparakudia and claim to say you're going to give them 10 million. Iyo 10 million ile from kufukwisa. Ile from government coffers, ile from kuma taxes ya leli pila mazambias, orama taxes ya mleli pila kumaini. Ni kuisa ile from 10 million. Nipoke chaba aka inde ichilema. There is no concrete answer to what happened to Chiwempala with that. The police have not given us the details of what caused the fire at the market. And was it a natural fire? Was it an accident? Or did somebody actually create the fire? Because we're going towards elections and these fires have been here before. When in 2021, 2020 we're going towards elections, markets were being burnt. Until now, nobody has given us why markets. Well, because even a fire, you do investigation. There's been nothing. Then you go there, thinking people are stupid. Farmers are waiting here for them to be paid so they can go out there, buy the so expensive seed so they can cultivate. You go there and say, Tuara mpera 10 million. 10 million is nothing to the commodities of what people had in there. How are they going to Balagabanashan? You don't even know the number of people that lost their things. You just go there because it's campaign season. You go and claim to say you want to give them 10 million. And this is what I'm telling you. You made the farmers upset. And next time you're going to address the farmers, they do what the Chingola people did. You're going to blame who? The opposition? The farmers? So you have all these misplaced priorities. I'm going to read what the UPND have written. And I'll tell you that this pisses people off. I read and I quote, diversifying agriculture. This is all rhetoric. A call to action for farmers to combat malnutrition and enhance food security. This is rubbish. Farmers have not been paid, and you're writing this. You write, and I quote, in a bid to tackle the pressing issue of malnutrition and ensure food security in Zambia, Dr. Oliver Kandela Wulaya, senior consultant at the Agriculture Climate Action Foundation, has called on farmers to shift their focus beyond traditional maize production to more diversified and nutritious agriculture practices. Now, I'm gonna tackle this. Listen to what they say. This urgent plea follows the findings of 2020-2021. Now, 2020-2021, there was a period of PF. PF had all this manifesto that they laid down. That's why they did all this. If you talk about diversification, we started fish farming in Zambia. Edgar Chagwalungu started diversifying. Even the crop rotation, even the farming of avocado. It started in PF with Edgar Chagwalungu. When they planted the avocado trees and so on, and so, how far has that gone? Whenever Alicia will be exporting avocado to Europe, how much avocado are you exported by UPND to Europe? You said that back in the you're on record. It says the number Zambians. So they say, and I quote, and they're calling it 2020. They've gone back to 2020 because UPN itself has got no manifesto. That's 90% Kabuka and Jito Kayumba. It's just all rhetoric. Because why quote 2020 to 2021? We're in 2025. So they say, and I quote, the urgent plea follows the findings of 2020-2021 food consumption and micronutrient status survey and recent reports from UNICEF, which highlight alarming rates of malnutrition among vulnerable population, particularly in rural areas. So you're writing all this nonsense and you know people are hungry. And you write this nonsense. And you expect people to clap for you. You expect people, it's like you're adding salt to the wound. You say, and I quote, Dr. Bulaya notes the survey reveals the challenges such as suboptimal diet quality, inadequate feeding practices, limited access to clean water. This is your writing. This is on UPNZ page. Iyo. This is, I'm quoting you. Moimona. You say, and I quote, deterioration sanitation significantly contribute to malnutrition. It reiterates that many farmers, particularly those in agriculture sector, are reportedly neglecting vital aspects of food security that affect households, community well-being, and community well-being. Dr. Abula emphasizes the need of farmers to adopt modern agriculture practices while also addressing nutritional requirements. A balanced diet. How many Zambians can afford a balanced diet? See how I'm talking about this rhetoric. So then they say, a balanced diet includes essential minerals which can be attained through the cultivation of diverse crops, is stated. So this is on their page. Now, if you remember very well, in 2022, Hakainde Hichilema came out, and what did he tell the farmers? He told the farmers to grow more soya beans. What? Let's do this. Hakainde Hichilema, President of the Republic of Zambia, came out in 2022 and said, we have increased the prices of soya beans and we're going to be exporting these to China. We've signed a memorandum of understanding with China. Therefore, we are urging farmers to grow more soya beans. What happened in 2022? Farmers went, bought soya beans, grew soya beans instead of maize, whilst you were exporting amataba mwashiri. After the farmers went and cultivated soya beans, the next farming season, 2023, the government came out and said we are not going to be buying, FRA is not going to buy all the soya beans. What happened to the people that grew the soya beans? That were hoping FRA to buy that soya bean. They lost their monies. Just like that, and you don't care. You don't even say, oh, we are going to compensate you so that we'll give you free seed of maize, since you wasted money. You, the government, you made people grow soya beans and later on came out and say, we cannot buy the soya beans. You are on record. You're phasing out FISIP. Abantu bashita soya beans with the hope that FRA arashita soya bean. Mwafiro okishita soya bean. Abantu badumbuya. And with no remorse, you just move on with your lives like that. You did that. Not the opposition, not the farmers. You, the government of the Republic of Zambia. You did that to your own people. And when people get angry, you want to blame others. Instead of looking at what you've done in the last 4 years that has pissed people off. When we are here, you send your people to insult us. Okay? You tend to look at us like we are the enemy of the government. Shut the hell up. You want to be praised constantly. So instead of blaming others, the first thing is to try and take responsibility. You try and say, hey, Abantu Shan. She was on record saying we sent people to go and kill people in Mufumu. It's on record. Even that, you don't want to take responsibility. So you want to pile up, you want to arrest people, you want to come up, and even the statements that you were coming up with, Uyalandef, you are so we've never had a disorganized government like the UPND government. You wanted to run down, you wanted to hide what happened in Chingora. Alas, people fumed and it came out. And even now, you still want to water it down like nothing happened. And you want to issue threats. You were in Kitwe today. I was watching the video. Why your cadres are issuing threats. That's what happened. We're not going to allow it to happen. Hey, Shan. You're not listening. The people are speaking. You're not listening. You keep pushing them to the corner. How about you stop and say, we're sorry? How about that? Just this, we are sorry. Black Mountain. You promised the people of the Copper Belt to say, we're going to give you this Black Mountain when we come. We're not going to do it as the PF do. Towards the election, they lied to you that they're going to give you life. You're on record, Mr. President. What did you do to Black Mountain? Abantu bashere pofie. And people were quiet. You still don't want to learn. You even go kumufrira kuda with Jubilee metals. Na kumulefu amuwishe na yo ile ya kumufrira. You still don't learn. Amena abantu senseri idia bale iwombera. Quite alright. You promised them, you've been 4 years into government. When you were in opposition, you said we were going to give you safe mining. 4 years, safe mining. How hard is it that the government can fail to give abantu? Oh, ama butaya. Oh, ifimpo mpuefi. Nomba ingire nika kachitenani. Nero abantu bafuira kula kusenseri kuria. You went there, mwaya perot ma 10 pin. What did you do? We hear that Sensei is now the UPND are the one cadres want to run the same Sensei that you chucked people away. People discover God kurokumufumbo instead of you say no kitora mpera kara aka aspect na imomu wombere kwapa no na government na yara bomba kuno kuba tite walls turerorera you go and shoot people. You know, if we did not go safe mining. And you tell these Ututuena Tayari to come out to say, hey, kind of government, safe mining, you've been in government for 4 years. How hard is it for you to buy equipment? Paka wapo Maria Vepa. Mulungush textile. Is it functioning? Mwaya sende fia online kaguna nkane ifma scrap. Ato mwaya isura no kuisura mulungushi mwako pono kupama pictures. What is happening in Kabo na Mulungushi textile? These are the issues that you need to face. And if only you had listened, because now it's too late. But you still come up with this nonsense of slogans. So, mune chena abantu kumitima. Kwenyu, alebombo muntu, mwaitano tuwa celebrities fia bupuba. Ahemrekene ateke, alebombo muntu. Iwa chire wanu. Iwa yo maps. Mwe pusha omneno Diamond. Kutanzania. I'm not inciting anything, but I'm giving you examples of what is happening. People are upset. And the least you can do is listen to why they're upset and possibly show some remorse and say we're sorry. But no, you want to still continue threatening using your cadres. Now, the population of Zambia is 20 million Zambians. How many are you? More voted 2.8. Out of 2.8, you. If I have a son and they're talking on Batien to Chala Bacharo, you're not gonna do the retaliation. Instead, the government you listen. But obviously, you're not going to listen. You're going to do as UPND does. You're going to allow these celebrities to come in, to water it down, to console you because that's what you want. Me, I'm not coming here to console you. For what? Why should I console you? If you listened to my analysis from the time you took office, and maybe not look at this girl hates me, if you listen to say maybe she's saying these things because maybe what happened in Chingola would have not happened. But you want to listen to people that want to worship you. And I tell you, I'm not going to worship you. For what? You promised so much to the people of Zambia. With your own words. And those words are coming to haunt you. Your words, you're eating your own words, Mr. President. Next year, campaign will be show us what you have done. When he started talking, even when you went in, sort him out, he will sit quiet and eat the money. And the building in Nigeria, wherever it is. But then, is he one the voter in Zambia? Is he the one that votes? You've seen. And for Siawan, he'll praise you if you want. So that he continues to chew, to live a better life in Nigeria. What does he do? That's change. But I want some villagers, but they are not even exposed. Nigeria is a very big country. So it takes advantage of the ignorance of those his church goers. But even that church cannot give him the luxury because those are poor Nigerians. Look at what is happening in Nigeria. Look at the instability in Nigeria. Look at it. Such that Donald Trump is thinking of sending the military in Nigeria. That's how unstable Nigeria is. Do you hear him talk about Nigeria? Do you hear him talk about the sufferings of Nigerians? Nigeria has a population of over 200 million people. We are at a population of 20 million. Nigeria is 10 times that. Do you hear him talk? The poor people taking advantage of the poor people of Nigeria. And for his survival to live in that house, to live is swindling the government of Zambia. And the government of Zambia is letting them swindle them. Because they want praises. He's swindling a kind of and you let it up and you clap for him when he's out. Your fellow Zambian Mama Esther and Edgar Chagwalungu, you clap for him. You don't know, because I didn't want Akai. No, it's not that he loves Akai in the no. It's because he loves what he gets out of Akai in the Ishima. Even if it means to insult Mama Esther or Edgar Chagwalungu, he would do so because he's loyal to what he gets out of Akai in the Ishima. And that goes to all the praise singers. If you claim to love an individual, that is when you say you care about a person. When Siawan spoke about what's this? Show us what you have done. You're going to come and tell us CDF. You're coming and tell Bell stories. CDF for sake. What did the UPND do? You went and negotiated with Siawan. You negotiated, not Murepachan. You negotiated with Siawan and gave him, and that is why his brother, a murderer who murdered a Zambian, is out of prison. And you expect the Zambians to just clap. A murderer comes, a foreigner comes into our country, murders a Zambian, together with Zalomes. You go out there, but DPP, you bring down a case and call it manslaughter, and quickly you give them bail. Those that insult, those that have got civil cases cannot even get bail. A criminal case, because even manslaughter is a criminal case. They quickly get bail. A foreigner is not a flight risk, but a Zambian is. A Zambian that has committed a civil case. And you wonder why people are angry. You think people cannot see these things that are happening. Even the so-called Tayali that keeps on praising you now, he cannot come into the country. We challenge Tayali if he really believes in Hakainde Hichilema, that Hakainde Hichilema has forgiven Thailand, that once he goes and steps the foot in Zambia, he won't be sent to jail. Let him take the first flight to Alamulipira flight tomorrow, so ask the land in Mozambique. But you want people that want to run a certain narrative on social media. So you pay idiots like Tayali. And they're not doing a good job. All they're doing is digging the grave deeper and deeper for you. Don't think those numbers that are watching that, they're just there. Chipu. I'm say abantu yalaji. Tayali chipuba. That's why he's got no influence. Look at the number of things he has said. Who does he influence? Who? It's a fluffy. People know anybody that throws a bone today is gonna go there and start wait. It's a fluffy. But those are the people you want to use and think they are going to gain you power, or they are going to ensure your return or your re-election. No. Tayali is getting what he can to survive once he's outside there. If really you guys are back together by UPNG and we're praising our supporter, let him come back into Zambia and do your campaigns. But even if he comes and does the campaign, the truth of the matter is, there is the truth and lies. And when these things come to power, the only thing that's gonna stand is the truth. No matter how hard you try to create a narrative, you try to paint a certain picture, when the truth catches up with the lies, the only thing that will remain standing is the truth. And the truth of the matter is that Zambians are hungry and they're angry. That's all. You say I'm bitter. This nonsense that you constantly send the press singers here to say this, it's not helping you. It's not going to help your presidency. It's not going to help your presidency. It's going to just keep on digging you down every single day, because our celebrities, they cannot influence the voter to convincingly go to a vote and say, vote for Hakainde Hichilema. Vote for Hakainde has brought peace. Which peace? The peace of gagging people? The peace that only those that are outside the country can speak? The peace that nobody can freely express themselves or they'll be sent to jail? The peace that those aligned to the presidents can get away with murder? Is that the peace you're talking about? The peace that law, justice in Zambia is selective? Is that the peace you're talking about? You look at the people that talk about peace in Zambia. They're all aligned to UPND. How can you even say, Kato, ukuiba Kato, there is no bail. But ukwipa omuntu mulepera bail. In which country? Ukuibe nkoko waibe nkoko takuri bail. But keto mulepera, that district commissioner that defiled a child, mwarimu pera bail. A child defiler, mwamu pera bail. Because it's UPND. And you think people are okay with that and people are happy. Uwa tukane ensere, nimukari hati because are tukaka inde each them. I'm not supporting insult. I'm just saying, this is the justice that you so claim to have in Zambia. A murderer is free out there. I was reading on News Diggers. The same murderer, Maria Zalomes, is even challenging the presidency of, I don't know if it's FRI or something like that. Something to do with agriculture, something. A murderer who's on bail is challenging. Hey! This country. And you still don't want to face that. You want to blame it on others. And inevitable one, if there's anything that Zambia needs to vote out UPND for, is the lack of the failure to take responsibility. Because in them, mwabapera food 5 years. If you want to say, I guess I'm grand, after the morning stuff, so what you have done in Chingora, you might as well kick the man out of power. Vote wisely. Because imagine you give him over Kesa Michitakuda Chingora. Apakaida Pambo who are vulnerable because we are heading towards elections. Imagine you give him another term. No matter what you say, how much you say it, he will not listen. And that's the truth. And I saw it when the ADC was trying to tell him to go do. He was not. At that particular point in time, you are no longer president. You become a vulnerable individual. So listen to the people who have training. You don't have any training in that. But ADC. And it shows that Haka in the Ichima does not listen to anybody. I was reading what Cleson Amasaka was writing. What he wrote about, I take responsibility. It was last minute. Last minute, much from Lusaka, Mwafireta, Mwaya decorator, Kudia. Last minute, you. When I'm more decorator. Haka in the Ishima received the report of what's on the copper belt. We came here, we told you, JJ told you about the report. That he's got less than 20% on the copper belt. But you wanted to change that narrative. You want to change that report. You received intelligence. Do not go to the copper belt. Don't blame the intelligence, even if he has created the para-intelligence. Don't blame them. So look at how he handled the ADC. When his ADC was telling him, go down. Not until Nadimbiri when I said I did ADC. Watch that video. I slowed it down of how he did it. Those people are trained. He had to force him to go down. He was telling him, Mr. President, go down, go down. He couldn't go down until he held him per shoulder. And he forced him to go down. Told him to sit down, leave me alone. Watch that video. I'm commander-in-chief of the armed forces. That's what is in his head. The commander na training tight of Zambi. Listen, you got intelligence, don't go to the copper belt. You insisted you went to the copper belt. Klesona Masaka, Uenu Nademba, you insisted to go to the copper belt. You wanted to lie. I want to wala chura kuja. Market yape, want to lie, we're giving you 10 million. Barastana yosh 10 million. Barastana yosh 10 million. Because you want to look like you care for Zambian people. You had all this time, you spent all the time chasing after Edgar Chagwalungu. You thought Edgar Chagwalungu he's no longer here. Look at what has happened. And if he was here, I can guarantee you, Muitwa, Kawana, they will be doing all this press briefing accusing Edgar Chagwalungu. You spent the entire 5 years chasing after it. Even now, you're chasing after Edgar Chagolungu when he's dead. You're still facing after him instead of addressing the issues that are affecting the people that are living. No. You still don't want Edgar Chagolungu to be buried because that's your focus. Edgar Chagolungu is dead. That happened. Who are you going to blame? You want to send back PF? Which PF? Who repeated? Which PF? Which PF has paid those people? Yeah? Oh, my Jerabo. The same Jerabo you refused to give the licenses? You lied to give the licenses? You still want somebody to blame. Take responsibility. You have failed this country. You have failed to govern this country. You have failed the people of Zambia. And I told you, Zambians can see. I've forgotten where the picture. You go and donate mattresses. I said, I am a PR Mwamba. It's too late. It cannot work. Yeah? Bamutinta, the past 4 years, she has been nowhere to be seen as first lady. When we used to ask, wait, to office you have a first lady? Hey, she doesn't like politics. She doesn't like involving herself in politics. Mama Esther. But she's the first lady. She was nowhere to be seen. Your wife was nowhere to be seen. Did you call about 6 months before election? Hospital, donation, picture. It's not gonna sell. Zambians are awake, they're not stupid. You know this. You are in opposition. But where was the first lady all this time? Where was she? Where was she? Now you want her to be active. You want to show that you care. You are this organized family. It's not gonna work. Zambians will not forget the sufferings they've gone through the past 5 years. And you cannot turn it around. You cannot turn it around. I used to tell you, Muchina na Muchinka, to say, you'll be alone. Wait until you dissolve parliament. These MPs of yours. Because even them, they need to campaign. Ask your minister, and you cannot under fire na sha mone chichera chikugutatfala. Cannot fire poka. He cannot. Because poka buswe are the more problems. That's more funny issue. Ewa de sign a paper. I used to tell poka buswe, if my papers you sign, una kwata kona immunity or sign on behalf. Excuses. You couldn't take the Mopani into parliament against the constitution. You dispose of the asset without parliament approval. But there are so many things that are happening in our country that Haka Inde cannot fire poker. So wufu that's the God scandal ya pa airport. God turned into copper all of a sudden. He cannot. Uichi fimbo package. Charisa sokorora. Chifimbo poki. Charisa sokorora. Mwachinyanchira. Udia UPND omwapera kwati ni district commissioner mwampera. Something like district commissioner. His name is Pefias. Is it Pefias Kunda? Pefias Kunda started telling you the truth. What did you do? You wanted to shut him. Mwampera ka position. That's how I'm after shut. So you don't want to listen to the people that want to tell the truth. And you think money can buy every single individual. At the end of the day, that's what you got in Chingora. And these people that say, respect the president. The presidency is respected. But Haka in the HM is on record saying this is what happens when a president fails to perform. Let me just play that video actually. So that you say that. Panga before I go. So now Mwamba, like for example, Zambia Watchdog. Now they're running a narrative. Right now, they're posting this on Spark Mining. This, if you aren't under this well by UPNG, what has Spark Mining done? Because this guy's got license. It's not been mining. It's been in this industry for a long time. So Zambia watchdog ran from State House, posting Spark Mine in his picture like this. What does this mean? What's the message they are trying to create? If I read some comments here, because now you want to go after Sparks Mining. You're failing to take responsibility. Sparks Mining has been a dealer and his dealings are legal. Now, yes. Now you want to blame. This is your platform, Baka in the Ichilema. You're not handling this well. Your watchdog, Hamasaka, runs watchdog, has posted a picture of Spark Mining. What are you trying to say? Uwakaele Sparks Mining. A narrative mwa vele katari mairo daka ipa TikTok atikambio kurani ngateo majerabo. Because you had a target. Kabuswe had a target kuri Sparks Mining. Take responsibility. Mulekeni Sparks Mining. Mulekeni Sparks. Mulekeni Sparks. Mulekeni Sparks. Ili narrative mwambo kuraninga. Katayani mairo narisa keba ku TikTok. Na tififia opofu wambo kuraninga hivi. Warareta ma problems mchana. You thought tayari to come and run a narrative that those were sent by Jerabos. You've made so many different statements. Now you're posting a picture of Sparks Mining. What does that mean? What are you trying to entail? What has he done? Was it there? These are Zambians. This is what you're doing to the Zambians. And it's not just Sparks Mining. It's a lot of people that really benefit. The entire Chingola benefit. Why are we having so many junkies? Because they cannot work. There are people that cannot just go to school. But here business. If you look at most of the people that have got money, they are pushing them at school. Mikalile did not finish his unza. He started a business. Naturally, by a business. They employ accountants. They employ all these people that are educated. Okay? To do their books and so on and so forth. We have problems with junkies. Why? Because the youths are in the streets. There's nothing for them to do. The nonsense of free education is not getting people off the streets. People cannot go to school hungry. People cannot go to school. They are going to transport ya kuira ku school. So nami papa taba UPNG waka indi Sparks Mining ni mulekeni. Ukwa linsoke takwa fuire muntu. There's nothing that he has done. Fefire Kasanda mwamu chitire. Kasanda. You think Kasanda is happy? You wanted to blame Kasanda like Kasanda. Ala chitama dealings are wrong. Mwamu ikata. My Egyptians buy. A Zambian started rotting in jail, claiming Kasanda is a thief. Eh? What happened? Mwamu funya Kasanda. Because you're trying to create this story. Now the things you can't face what has happened. You starting a narrative of Mulekeni Sparks Mining. Leave him alone. This nonsense, stop it, YUPND. Stop it. You read the comments. Zambians are not buying it. These are comments on Zambian Watchdog. Let me read you some of the comments. Leave him alone. These are Zambians saying this. Thomas Paro says, I hope they don't want to implicate him in whatever transpired. The problem is the leadership of UPNG on the copper board. Bakonda kuja beka uyoni waka ere mufani. These are comments. Listen to the comments. Speak waka ere fumeni hapa. These are people. I will leave him alone. These are people talking on behalf. Not cadres. People. These are the comments. Leave Sparks out of this place. If you are Bupuba, leave this man alone. Tia Nyuko, Imoba Mumbwe. What does this man have to do with the unprecedented load shedding, high cost of living, high cost of doing business your government has subjected us to? You think that we are happy with buying fresh produce every day? Do you have any idea how this has worsened the poverty in people's homes? Nonsense. This is on Sparks Mining's page. And this is what the Zambians are saying. No matter how sharp your teeth are, you can't bite water. The fact that some people have been celebrating his activities is worrying. This is good starting point. Now those are your cadres. This that you are creating, somebody has replied to the cadre, the same cadre. Fusekiwe chi tribalist, hiding behind a fake account. Spark mining is disciplined. Lekeni ubupuba, wuken mwarasunda. Once you touch this one, then you are all finished. Baka butuka neshi. Bapwiri apapene. Try it. You will remember my words, Nishi. Niwo, eri knockoff. Bantu balela ndefi. Bantu balela ndefi. I don't think he was involved. A angry man is always an angry man. He was arrested during PF for this and he's never done it. But watchdog, what has Sparks Mining done this time around? This man can feed all UPND members. Chami tuwala kuri Sparksi. Chami tuwala kuri Sparks Mining nomba. Awe mulenya mulera pira. Muirabika Sparks mufia bupuba. These are Zambians. These are Zambians. Not cadres, Zambians. These are comments I'm reading. He's not a cadre but a businessman. This one can feed you watchdog. Watchdog thinking using his balls. These are Zambians. These are comments on watchdog. That's a civilian AR-15 by Daniel Defense. And not the M40 cabin military version. Anyone qualifies for a firearm license can get it. But I'm Zambians. If they provoke him, Balalenga, Emanine as president and will definitely win. Guabu. The revolution will not be televised. Muimubika mufiabu puba. Chingola is on course. Every new government needs to study. Do not include him mufiabu puba. Awa wiwaka eri. The one that can throw stones easy. Mokomoko from Kitwe at Waisele. Bunamufa. These are Zambians. Jealous written all over the walls. People relax. Watchdog is just wishing him a happy birthday. Awe tuwaka na Sparks mufia bupata wamo. Waka ere is innocent. Tachitefia bupuba. Mwatampo okusabaira nomba kwate in order, guys. If your ego has been punctured. Awe bane muirabika Sparks mufia bupuba. Awe leave bouncing baby boy alone. These are Zambians telling you that this narrative, this shit that you want to start running will not sell. Listen. They spoke. Try and listen. Awa mulekeni Sparks Mining. Waka ere mulekeni. Stop it. Don't put Sparks mufia upwa. Awa mwiramu pimpira Sparks. Uwa watagula kabepeshu. Awe don't involve him. Take responsibility by UPND. In narrative, running at Majera Bos, moving Sparks Mining Fiaupa, it will not sell. By UPND, under Akainde Islam's administration, you have failed to govern this country. You have failed the people of Zambia. And it's time you took responsibility. Otherwise, take it or leave it. Na alanda ne wako akaluba. Don't think that nonsense that happened in Tanzania where people were killed and somebody was elected, you do it in Zambia. No. You're not going to do that in Zambia. We've always been a democratic country. Every president has gone out democratically. So, I don't know how you're going to do it, but for me it's too late. God bless you. God bless Zambia. Have a good night and God bless you. Bye-bye.